Welcome to the show. Today we have a new episode. Union News. Twin flames in the age of AI. Because that is what Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth wants to present at this moment. The real twin flame work happens on the inside, and then it will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your daily twin flame news, or almost daily at this point. Today on the show, we have twin flames in the age of AI because I felt like there is actually sort of a contradiction going on at this time where we live. But you hear more and more about AI. Do you also have these YouTube ads that come in? And nowadays, one of them tells me almost every day that this is the time in which you have an entrepreneurial opportunity to go into AI. And this is the time to take it because it will become big if it is not already. And yeah, I think that's true. It's really the talk of the day. So, but it sounds like bots are going to take over. Are they also going to take over twin flames? Are twin flames still relevant in the age of AI, or is it actually already passé? Let's talk about that later on in today's episode. Let me know in the chat where you are watching from. Add a heart for desiring union and a flame for calling in the consciousness state of harmonious union. The twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day is: the biggest disappointment will come when the student realizes that twin flame union can only truly be sustained through surrender to the spiritual inner union church. But the only one that will be disappointed is the ego. Yeah, think about that for a moment. The only one that will be disappointed is the ego, and you need to leave the ego behind when you want to go to the consciousness state that is here for twin flames to take in so that they can have all the success that they want and be together, stick together sustainably, be truly happy. Never need to complain anymore about they ran away and whatnot, because that doesn't exist there anymore. That's why you want that consciousness state, actually. Also, when you've never heard of that, that is actually the real thing, people. But you need to leave your ego behind to reach it. And that's a different experience. It's like new, it's like something you haven't lived before. And even when we think we don't have an ego because we're so spiritual, I've never seen that be true. There's always a release. And that's a beautiful process. It also means that the ego cannot grab it and have it and steal it and abuse it and use it and throw it away, because it can't be reached by the ego. So I think we should be very happy that that is so it can't be misused. Well, people use the idea of twin flames and the words all the time. But the truth of what it really is can't be reached by the ego, can't be used or abused. Luckily. So that's safe because it's safeguarded by the divine itself. It's just the beauty of it. And another thing that was in this twin flame union consciousness wisdom of today is that you might be disappointed, and that's what the ego does. The ego is disappointed, not a true you, not a you that is in union with your twin flame. But the ego might be disappointed somewhere on your twin flame journey because You need to surrender. Well, that's actually the same as leave the ego behind. You need to surrender. And not only that, you need to surrender to the spiritual inner union church. Like if it's not bad enough, then there it is. Like what? Many people are very spiritual, and then they think that is opposed to religiously, and then they hear the word church and they're against that, and then it's like, what are you talking about? You must be kidding me. Are we regressing into religion? So then you're asked to put your ego aside in that topic, because that's not correct. It's just like, yeah, maybe religion is like a more organized thing. But the spiritual, free, deep, profound union, beingness, energy, is an organized thing as well in the inner space. In the invisible inner space, there is an organization. It has order. And that's what you're surrendering into. That's what is needed. That's how it works. So you could call that inner energy, or however you want to call it, a church, because it's like the vortex. It's like the energy cloud in which harmonious union lives and is passed on. There's order in that. And it exists autonomously, although it's all in the invisible world. But it is like a vehicle, so you could call it a church. Like, there floats the cloud of union consciousness, like the church, right? That cloud is the church. So you could maybe like visualize it like that a little bit, although that's pretty dumb as an image, but maybe it helps in some sort of way. And you need to surrender into that. Yeah, and then people won't like that. And then that's your ego, and you have to leave that behind, and then you have to surrender into it. And yeah. I mean, you will eventually do that. And then the beauty starts. And then the love begins. And then this divine romance starts to unfold. So don't be unhappy. Be happy, surrendered into it. Be sustainably joyful together with your twin flame. Yeah. The ACIM lesson of the day is lesson 79. Let me organize the problem. No, again, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Okay. A problem cannot be solved if you do not know what it is. Even if it is really solved already, you will still have the problem because you will not recognize that it has been solved. This is the situation of the world. The problem of separation, which is also the separation of twin flames, which is really the only problem, has already been solved. Yet the solution is not recognized because the problem is not recognized. Everyone in this world seems to have his own special problems. They are all the same and must be recognized as one if the one solution that solves them all is to be accepted. Who can see that a problem has been solved if he thinks the problem is something else? Even if he is given the answer, he cannot see its relevance. That is the position in which you find yourself now. You have the answer, but you're still uncertain about what the problem is. A long series of different problems seems to confront you. And as one is settled, the next one and the next one arise. There seems to be no end to them. There's no time in which you feel completely free of problems and at peace. The lesson goes on a lot more, but we'll stop here for this broadcast. You can read the entire lesson in the link that I publish in my Patreon, patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe. And you can become a member there and always read all the show notes with complete texts and references and links and valuable deals and much more things. I will also add secret videos soon. The ACIM lesson of the day actually says that the same thing as what we talked about in the Twin Flame Union Consciousness Wisdom of the Day. The problem is already resolved. The twin flame separation is already resolved. You just need to let your ego go and surrender into that union consciousness, into that union church, into the church cloud, the spiritual cloud, where it is already resolved. Leave your ego behind and do it. Then you will see that it had already been resolved. All these twin flame problems of you, like they don't want to speak to me anymore. They live so far away, this is impossible. Our age gap is enormous. He blocked me on virtually all apps. How are we supposed to communicate? We didn't meet yet. I have been waiting for decades. All of that will be resolved when you let go of that there was ever any problem. So you just let go of the entire separation consciousness state. And then you surrender into, you leave behind the ego, you surrender into the union consciousness state. And that's where those problems end. That's where separation consciousness ends. Separation consciousness with its endless problems, its endless twin flame situations that are unharmonious, whatever it is. Your special flavor of separation right now that you experience. And this is truly so. This is truly, truly so. It's a shift in consciousness, and then everything is resolved. And well, there are still things to do, steps to take, things to develop, families to raise, houses to buy, abundance to let flow into your bank account. There's lots of fun things to do there. So don't worry about that. But it can sound too magical that it's really a shift only. Well, I promise you it's really true. But it's not something we're used to. That's why we have the inner work. That's why we have specific tools that are unique. That's why we have coaching. That's why we have guidance. That's why there's a teacher. That's why there will be a Twin Flame School group that will open on May the 1st, 2025. And you're invited to partake. That's why. And that's very normal, you know. There are no people, though that may be good to know for you today. There are no people that come into that consciousness state, the harmonious twin flame union consciousness state, without coaching, guidance, teacher, connection, relationship with a teacher, ongoing, etc. That because, well, it is safe to say that that doesn't exist maybe in theory, but not in practice. And so there's nothing more normal. So that may be good to know, you know. Nobody needs to do it alone. And I also didn't do it alone. Absolutely not. So there you go. Seems that that needs to be said at this time, a lot of the time. I also, for today, got to a segment of one of my own books. Well, there are at least three books in one book, so that's why I say books. I opened it and this came out. This section. It's called. It's like some sort of a subchapter that says something about certain chapters of the Twin Flame School that I have been preparing for some decades. It's section 6. Your true hologram is not a protest. Female power is in its simplicity related to earth energy, to nature. She is full of feelings and warmth in her greatest power. She cares, warms, and breathes the fullness of life that she can therefore also birth in many different ways, like, for instance, by listening to the way her hair is stroked by the wind, deducting the wind's wisdom from it, and sharing it with others. Human females are not only the divine feminine as a soul in their pod with their true twin flame, they are also having the female energy spot in their individual energy system with a connection point in their body, just like a masculine one. Otherwise, they would drown in their ocean of emotions and oneness. Women have, just like men, a great need for power, for the power of awakening that will guide them to the heavens from the earth. A solid ground to grow from is the earth, a leadership starting point, a staff to be able to lead a daily life. Both are in continual co creation. We see women, after eons of suppression, toss themselves again in a new way of the emotional ocean, as an attempt to stand up. And that is allowed. However, it is not balanced. And we are here to guide you towards the final operation table of transformation that will prepare you for your final jacket of heaven on earth. We want to invite you to contemplate what this means for you. Being a student of life as the highest deed of womanhood, a student of the divine guidance that awakens you every new moment to the now. What does it mean to you to open for playing the role in the new earth that rightfully belongs to you? This is how you can find your wisdom and your balance and go before your peers and those that come after you to heaven. Ahead of many men, if that perspective brings you joy, but also following many and eventually with your true twin flame alone, a true soul related equilibrium with source. The female principle is the rock bottom for sexuality and abundance. It is present in the depth of God and of nature. She is worthy of devotion with the highest respect and has the honor to share her awakened moments with her divine masculine twin flame. Both energies help each other eternally to become even greater and greater and get higher energy results that will manifest down into the physical in so many beautiful forms. That's from the Emerald Itinerary, which is one of the three books in a paper book called Twin Flames Manifesting Your Abundant Life of Love, on page 178. You can buy it on Amazon. So there is this whole movement of feminism, and that's why it says your true hologram is not a protest. So there is something that is being protested against, and that is that had been a certain abuse period that came before. But then to again dive in the same sort of atmosphere, which is still like the form realm, and then say no, and say I protest, and I say I stick to the same realm of form, then you're likely going to be imbalanced in the other direction. And that keeps this realm of form intact. And the whole point is that for twin flame divine feminine power, so to speak, you need to leave the realm of form and come to your actual core that is beyond form. It is eternal. It belongs to your union, and it is together in harmonious equilibrium with your true twin flame. That's just what it is. That's what you are. And when you step in that perspective, that whole war that is wrong, and then the war that you feel is right, is just completely to the side. It's just not important anymore. It just completely shoved to the side. It's just, and you know, and you stand in that power that that is not of relevance anymore. You may have wanted that as a form of a correction, but when you're really home in your union, you will recognize, and when you don't, then you're not in that union yet, which is normal and okay. I'm just pointing it out. You will recognize when you're there that the only shift that truly matters is going from all the separation consciousness in the world of forms and shift into union consciousness, the end of problems, the end of ego, and go live there, move there with everything you have and own and are, and never return. That's the only shift that truly matters. And everything will fall into place. And you will finally get to know what this sane divine feminine power entails for uniquely you. And you don't know that beforehand. It's a revelation. If there's one thing that I learned from Mother Mary, the Mother of Christ, then it is that what a woman is someone that follows Christ consciousness. And that births many children, and it doesn't matter what they are. The oracle guidance of today is going to be, let's see. Let's get the cards out and see if we can get a great card. My deck. Union and mission cards. Please, Divine Mother, help us get the right card for today. So, I'm seeing this one. Let's take it. 3. Speak. From a triangular pyramid form. There's a ball in it, and there's a mouth in the ball, and it starts to speak. Really a 3-dimensional communication system in the 9-point energy system that I created together with Divine Mother, that is called the Creative ID system. Yeah. So it's a lot about communication. Let's see in the booklet what it says. Expressing value by speaking truth means to attune the voice to what is essential inside of you, with how the world can understand you. Hmm. Yeah, very interesting. And there should be more, but I'm just trying to go to that place where this card is explained. And it seems as though I can't truly find it. We will in a second. It must be here. So, what's the problem? The problem is in the chapter where I'm gonna read. It's called Speak instead of Speaking. The voice creates. Courage is speaking out from the connectedness of your soul. In a world where the results, the mentions that come forth of these deeply rooted processes are hardly understood by others. Incomprehension is widespread when it is about the essential value and nature of things. The individual walking this journey and sinking deeper in the value of it gives growing difference with those that are not there. Everyone desires the same unconditional love, and this is what we share on every moment in every journey. The mentioned differences are, however, not to be wiped away and will always come forward somehow, someday, when you honestly speak about the very normal daily life affairs that are happening, about which you suddenly make an unusual comment. This can surprise you, what you express when you live in a connected way, as well as things that now feel so incredibly natural to you are being so deeply rejected by social and societal norms. This is the natural perspective and steps. This is important to know. You are allowed to express yourself for exactly how you feel it, and things feel appropriate conform the later phases as described in the ultimate strategy. And this will form the world around you in very many ways. Sometimes this seems to be repulsing to people. In fact, it builds lines that form boundaries that honor your unique position in life. And with a more favorable perception and mindset, you will start to see that this will, on the contrary, attract your deeper and natural soul desires through discernment that has come into the game now openly. Your voice expresses and thus makes visible who and what you are, and this is essentially not a negative process. Should we stand only with with nine people right here in heaven on earth to await you, all of the people on the earth, then still it is valid, and you have nine great new forever friends and clients for life that will be very full and fulfilling. Nine is but an example. Expressing your voice makes you visible on earth in an energy layer that makes sense and is important. It incarnates you because now you no longer hide. Much energy will be set free when you stop diverting your attention to what held you prison before and what made you hide. Direct this energy towards compassionate, creative, and assisting projects from the heart. Expressing your voice while staying in connection with your soul blueprint and source relationship is crucial for building heaven on earth and the calling in of assisting forces and friends that belong to you in that blessed space. Don't let yourself be distracted by adversary and see this diminish the moment you do not bring your attention to it anymore. True growth comes fully from within and results in her own kind of guaranteed natural riches that are perfectly appropriate for a union. Sounds like speaking your union into being. Sounds like speaking your heaven on earth reality into creation, and that's a true thing. That's a true thing. From the true freedom of speaking, from the union consciousness out, everything will be arranged because now you're creating the union life with your voice, which is not the authentic quote unquote voice of the personality, because that's the ego. It's the voice that comes from the union consciousness from within. Important distinction. So I think we've talked a little bit about, well, a couple of times about like the world of form and the world of where the true core of union consciousness lives. And that shift, that when you go live there, then you will birth a new world that will also encompass the outer world then, and it will be a normal life there. But it's like having a different source, a different starting point, different venture point. And that's really the difference. That's really the difference that twin flames need to live for success. So when we look at the topic of AI and twin flames, will twin flames still be relevant in the age of AI? In that age where you hear all the time that AI is the next big thing. All these bots and artificially generated wisdom searchers, search engines that take almost everything over from human beings. They can generate speech, they can generate meaning, they can generate all the solutions to your problems. They can generate whole jobs that beforehand people did. Human beings needed to work weeks, months on, years, lifetimes to collect information and manipulate that information to something that makes sense and that is useful and is ordered and is presented. And it seems like human beings are not needed anymore in the near future. Well, or only to manage the AI. And then you're invited by entrepreneurial types on your YouTube um, advertisements and on other places. Like, please become that AI attuned entrepreneur because this is going to be big. And you can now step into this new opportunity that I'm going to give you as an AI attuned entrepreneur. And then you will sort of be the manager, the one that uses AI. And all these other people that will fall away because their job is taken over by AI. Well, they are just swallowed by the monster, but don't bother them. That doesn't matter because you have been saved by the God of AI, the artificial and intelligent God. Well, think about that. Is that your future? Is that going to swallow the whole idea of twin flames living in one union and give it up? Or Let it be AI generated or something. But that's where the true problem starts to arise, because is that possible? Can an AI tool give you your true twin flame? And can it know what is your true twin flame? Let's say we're going to build an AI bot for union testing. Is this the true twin flame? And are you truly in union? And I'm just going to program this AI bot or process for you. I'm going to be the manager of that, okay? So I'm going to be a successful entrepreneur with that. Sorry, I already have it. Not you. That's a joke. And I'm going to put all the twin flame signs that I figured out together with Divine Mother over decades of time that are the true signs. I did publish them on my blog, on my website, in a video. Just go to my video channel, my channel on YouTube. And you can also, when you are on a desktop or a laptop and you go to my channel page, you can also search with the search bar on my own channel, search in my vast collection of videos. And there's a topic about that. There's a video about that. I'm sure you can find it. All the twin flame signs. And I put all these twin flame signs and false twin flame signs in the AI bot. And then it will just go to work for you when you press enter. And you might want to speak to it or write into it, type into it or something, some signs and things that you have encountered truthfully. And then it will go to work for you and tell you if it's your true twin flame or not, and if you're already in union or not, and how likely it is that it will happen, and when it's going to happen approximately, and it rattles it out, and you say print, and then it prints it out, and you have this whole report, and it's for free, and it doesn't need anything in anyone, and the whole world can use it with the press of a button in an app on your phone, and millions will use it. And like in this sort of vision that we're creating right now, mostly for fun, for the thought experiment. And millions will be able to know if they're with their twin flame, or if they will be, and if it's going to go all right. And they can follow the steps from the AI tool on your phone. Just follow the steps, and maybe it can just, use other apps on your phone and just, buy your plane ticket for you on your phone and send you on the right train to your twin flame by using the other app, showing you in your maps app where your twin flame lives, and send you there, or send them to you. What about that? With a post stamp on their nose, and then just send it off with DHL or something, or Post NL in my country, or how is it called in your country? The delivery service, UPS, I don't know. So that your twin flame can be delivered in a package in front of your door. How about that? Everyone orders everything these days, so why not order your twin flame? This whole AI bot can just take it over. Search who it is and put them on the train, and make them ring your door with the app, because don't we have these days like electronic doorbells that are on our phone's app as well? And there is your twin flame. But would that be your twin flame, or would that be like the next mind fuck that is false, that is nonsense? I also have another video, you'll find it when you search on my channel, that works with Chat GTP. And I looked inside that app. I probably have had asked in the app something like, how do I get into union with my twin flame? And then it really gave me steps. Step one, step two, step three. Think about this thing, think about the other thing. And I read out loud. It's like a video of 45 minutes or something. And I was just reading out loud what my phone app said, Chat GTP. Like, blah, 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 step one, blah, 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 step two. And I just discussed that. Well, I'll give you a hint already. Spoiler alert for the actual video. The steps were somewhat okay-ish for some of the time. I think I had comments on every one of them. Significant comments. But they sort of kind of sounded like a little bit twin flamey. Like a lot of the things that you might read on popular blogs or what have you, with people that talk about twin flames as a topic because it sounds like a cool topic, but they don't have it, they don't truly know it, they're not in their harmonious union consciousness state, they don't have that teachership gifted by the divine, so they don't know, they just discuss spiritual ideas that sound twin flamey, that are regurgitated over and over in many blogs and stuff. And that was sort of what was in that AI app. So what came out was that it was sort of kind of somewhat of a collection of mostly more general spiritual advice sounding ideas. But that doesn't give you your true twin flame. And it certainly doesn't guarantee that it's really them. It doesn't make it sustainable. It doesn't make it joyful. It doesn't make it harmonious. And you're not stepping into the guaranteed starting to flow to you of your abundance that comes with the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. It doesn't lead to the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. You're not leaving the ego paradigm behind yet. You haven't done the shift yet. So although it does sound sort of kind of okay-ish here and there, like you could certainly get some advice out of it that might be applicable to you, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good one, I actually needed to hear that today. Of course, sure, yeah. Anything can communicate or mirror back something to you that could be just exactly what you needed to hear in your stage. Yeah, sure. But that's not very specific for an actual twin flame recipe. That's like a happenstance, right? So, yeah, that wasn't really great, right? It just doesn't give you the shift. So I guess what can AI do is, well, maybe it could give you some ideas if the information it was distracting ideas from would be of good quality, and then translate it maybe in a couple steps that are easy to digest. That would be great, but then the source material needs to be true in the first place. And that's just not really going to happen when it is just collecting some sort of random info on the entire internet, which is full of bullshit, as we all know, I hope. But the most important thing is that all of these ideas are not connected to an organic you, an organic soul that is in the union with their true twin flame, with the spirit element that is only exactly that and can never be taken over by any computer or bot or CGI or AI, or because it cannot. Because we can't have an artificial spirit, because these two are not compatible. You could think of a very, very precise model of the actual universe that might be replacing the current internet and all that. And we would make it run eternally on sources of eternal energy that also exist. But then it would be still artificial. And you know that is actually what materialism is, what even the idea of the devil even is, it's like that's the idea of what the devil could be. But that is also the same as the idea of what the ego is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. So, and that means that it is an empty form, an empty shell, an empty. Well, maybe it could potentially be, in theory, a very precise, highly correct model that is so subtle in its subtleties that it really, really resembles the actual architecture of life itself, of your spirit life, where you are one with your twin flame in union. And then you have also other unions that are in a circle around you, and they are your soul family. And together you are like one big ray of light, and you are connected back to source, which is one big light where everyone comes from. And then from that being in union with your true twin flame in that soul family, and in your own unit, your own pod, in your union, your soul is born both individually around the same time in the flesh on earth. And then there are experiences there. And you can choose in the flesh to have these experiences together. And that makes it actually very beautiful, harmonious, deep, and ascending. And your spiritual progress goes even quicker because of that too. So you call in your abundance quicker too, because that's connected to that true spiritual richness. So that's approximately like what is this architecture of life? Well, I just gave you a sketch of the architecture of life and how it functions and how it's supposed to function. Just some points of it. And we put that in this form, in this AI app. It's very intelligent, it's very precise. But then it would be still artificial. It would be form only. It wouldn't have content. It would be outside of love. It would be an empty shell. Because the only true twin flame architecture functions under the divine in the fullness of meaning and purpose and value. It's full of grace. It's full of grace. It's not empty. And that is how they call Divine Mother. Did you know that? Full of grace. She's full of grace. The one that is full of grace. That's what Divine Mother is. So she stands at the opposite of the ego, the devil, the empty AI tool. She's full of grace, and the other one is empty of grace. In Greek, in the Bible, in the Greek Bible, the original Bible translation from Aramaic, I think, then. And from what? Well, okay. I clearly didn't prepare to say that part, so might have said that wrong. In the Greek Bible translation, that is called kecharitomene, full of grace. And that is also said about Mother Mary, who stands for Divine Mother in the Christ drama. And there's an angel that comes to her and he says to her, well, hello, ke charitomene. Hello, you, the one full of grace. And that's what we need. We need Divine Mother. That's what we need, because we are full of grace. So we can have a model that we are, that's not empty. And we can just do what the model did. That'll give it to you. So when we go back to twin flames in the age of AI, will AI take over? Will we have AI flames? And will AI take over in finding your twin flame? And will there in the future no real human people be necessary anymore, just like me? Even though I earlier said that in this broadcast said that it's necessary to have a teacher. But maybe AI takes that over, right? Well, no. So the answer is no. Because then you would have an example, a teacher that is empty. And you think that you also can be empty and have it. And the answer is that cannot be. The answer is no. You can't be empty and have it. You'd be a narcissist that is having a delusion. So you need the true fullness. Which doesn't mean that we should be feeling bad about AI. It just will never replace the value of your true soul connected union that is a part of the divine and therefore full of grace. It is ke charitomene. I choose now to explore the most complete depth of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my very core that He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see that the truth is that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we're all one with our twin flames and with God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love. Love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry, you could not choose against love itself because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave because it cannot possibly leave. But you leave love by the power of your command. And by that same power, you can command yourself to return to love. And it is so revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and ask the support you deserve through other services so that we can start a relationship that will lead to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results that I'm speaking of, and in fact, guaranteeing. Currently, you are cordially invited to step into the group year course experience. This is the Twin Flame Mystery School you have been waiting for. I am looking for 9 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Twin Flame Abundance Now opens its doors on May the 1st. Start giving so that you can receive. The door closes as soon as I have my 9 people that will be successful in their journey. But first, we dance towards the opening of the door together. Join the launch of the Twin Flame Year Group Course of Your Dreams. creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now launch. Link also below. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gift, I can do not anything. Because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we are on Earth and it necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on the behind the scenes experience. Patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe. This month, the Patreon subscriber action is the Divine Love reading for the old price of €99 instead of the new one of €177. If you liked this, why don't you share it with a friend? They might enjoy it too. I am Petra in the Union Consciousness State, Harmonious Twin Flame Union, since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You reached what you were looking for. Om. Amen.